with those. Okay, so we'll be dealing with those phase, this phase, those three steps during this phase. And today we'll be talking about prototyping and testing. Um, I would like the class to be like kind of interactive. So if you guys can hear me or you're following up, you just drop a reaction or all of those things. Thank you. So today we'll be talking about prototyping and testing, interactive prototyping and usability testing. So do anyone know what a prototype is? Yeah, let's start from there. Does anyone know what a prototype is? Hello, is anyone here?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, so I really do not know what it means.
Okay, that's fine. So the prototype,
Please, a question again.
so you were saying something.
Please, a question again.
I said, does anyone know what a prototype is? When somebody say, "Oh, this is the prototype," do anyone know what it means?
All right, from a simple knowledge I have, or small knowledge I have about prototype, a prototype is designed to test a product.
Mm, okay, um, that's still in line. So, a prototype is what we call a simulation. A simulation, whereas it's not the real product, it's not the real thing. It just shows or copies how the real product is going to work. That's what a prototype is. For instance, now, when a car is being built and they said, "Oh, we built a prototype of how a car is supposed to function." The car is not being built. The car is not what was built. It was just what was built. What is called a prototype is just something that kind of imitates how the car is going to work. So that's what a prototype is. And the goal of a prototype is to be able to look for problems, to find problems, to look at what is going to be better, what can be done, what can be adjusted before a developer writes any code at all, before a developer tries to write a code, because we know that as designers, whatever we design is what a developer is going to implement. So a prototype is meant to mimic the design, give a flow of how that design is going to work before the developer starts writing the code for that product. Are we following? You can drop a like if you are following. Okay. Okay, so another thing I would like to add is that a prototype is very cheaper than building. For instance, you want to quickly show your friends or show other people what you are working on, what you are building. A prototype is much more faster, because in few minutes you've done drag and drop on frames, and then you have something that people can click and all of that, instead of having to wait for the developer before the developer comes up with it. So how is a prototype done? A prototype is either done by with paper sketch. You can draw something on paper, draw rectangles, draw a phone screen on paper. Can be rough but doesn't get the work done. It can also be a wireframe that shows only layout, doesn't no color. We all know what a wireframe is. I believe the previous classes has touched base on that. And we also have something that is called a clickable mockup. A clickable mockup is the design that you have, the high fidelity design you have. a clickable mockup, that design that we have that is all flashy, colorful, and all of that is called like a clickable mockup. You can prototype that to come up with what is called a prototype. And there is also an high fidelity prototype, something that is much more, that is like, let's say, that is the final version of the design. For instance, you can try to design a dashboard now, add a few colors, and you are good. You can test that. And the different and another thing for high fidelity is that you just design the perfect, like the colors, the layouts, everything is perfect, just as it's supposed to be in the real sense. So you can have a prototype in those four forms. Are you following? Yeah. So I think this is the part where I try to share my screen so we can walk through what a prototype is on Figma. Okay. Sorry, give me a moment. Let me have my screen up. Okay, I believe my screen is visible. So where do we start? Where do we start? Okay. Let me use this. I'm going to be importing a design. Because of time, we don't want to start designing screens and flows. So I'm going to try to import a design that I would walk around. Okay, let me copy and paste this. So I believe you can see the design now. Okay, so just look at this design. The design we have is this place that is being named a splash screen. We have this onboarding, we have these forms and all of that. We have like all of this. So now we want to prototype this. This is like an onboarding flow. So this is an onboarding flow that we want to prototype for testing. Now, a good rule of prototyping is to always name your frames. No two frames should bear the same name. There is that rule of prototyping. So for instance, now we have this frame that I named splash screen, then the other onboarding, which is 1, 2, 3, then the get started. Okay, so let me name this create account. Then since these flows are like the same, almost the screens are almost the same, if not all. So let me just change this one to no, let me just copy this enter code, then paste it here. We name the frame enter code, then name this name this frame profile, then interest, then let's say this is EF P, that's profile picture. Then we can name this PFP closing, or let's say selected. Then let's name this screen success screen. Then let's say this is pricing. So I'm going to take out what is not needed right now. So let me take these ones that are not needed here. Okay, let me use this screen instead. So I'm just going to take out the screens that not going to be needed here for the sake of this design. So yeah. Okay, so let me bring out back the properties bar. Now, on Figma, we have this part here that is for design. We have this that's for prototype. So since we are prototyping now, we are going to switch over to prototype. When I click on prototype, then the prototype is screen. I'll click on this. The goal of a prototype, this prototyping, is to tell, we are actually now telling Figma that, oh, if I click on this screen, take me to this screen. If I click on this button, take me to this button. If I'm on this screen for, like, let's say 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, then it should automatically redirect me to this screen. So that's what a prototype is we are like giving some set of instructions. So we are giving some set of instructions to the computers, to for Figma to understand. So now we have a splash screen. Quick one, what's a splash screen? A splash screen is that screen that quickly comes up when you open an application for like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Sorry, for like 2, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, then it goes to another page. So we have this screen here. Then I'm going to click on this splash screen. Then there's this icon that is just always beside the frame. This icon, when you put your mouse on it, it brings out the plus. Sorry, please, am I, hope I'm not like fast or forward or anything.
Oh, you are following, sir.
Okay. Then you just click on this plus. When you click on it, you properly drag it to the next screen you want it to go to. I want it to go to this frame beside it. So I just properly drag it to this frame. So immediately that's done, Figma brings out this modal, and I can set the instructions here. So what a trigger means that, okay, what action do you want me to perform here? Do you want this to be like when I click on the screen? Do you want it to be a time frame? Is it on drag? Is it on hovering or anything? But for the sake of this, we are just going to go with after delay. After delay means that when you stay on this screen for a certain amount of time, you move to the next page, So I'm just going to click on after delay. Then delay is 800 milliseconds, but let's be fast with it. Let's change it to like 300 milliseconds. Then so please give me a moment. Okay. Then what's the action? The action means is to navigate to. Navigate to means that go to the next page. Then there are other options here to change, which means like change this page to another page, but it's most likely done when you are designing models. Also, there's back, go back, scroll, open a link. Then we have these set variables here, which are for components. Then also like open overlay. And overlay means a model. You can set the prototypes like open a model, swap overlay. That means swap the model. Let's say, for instance, we are working on a reset password flow or reset pin flow while you're using a model and you want to prototype that flow. So instead of you to be doing it one by one, you can just design the set of models and just like swap them. And also, like we have closed overlay too, which closes the model, set the this thing to close the model. So we are still going to get to those parts, but for now, let's just quickly run through how to like navigate pages. So I set the action, I set the destination frame, which is either of these frames here. I can either like drag them here or decide to select the frame I want it to go to. That was why I mentioned initially that you have to make sure that no two frames are named the same, so your prototype is not going to be confusing. Then we also have animation. I believe you know what animation is. We have an instant animation, just goes direct. We have something that is dissolved. We have smart animate, just to do a little software animation there. There are also moving animation, move out, push, slide in or slide out. So you're just going to pick the one that is comfortable for that particular stuff that you're working on. So in this case, I'm going to be taking Smart Animate. This is like a cheat code to like working on nice prototyping in Figma. So I click Smart Animate and I can leave the rest like this and then just close the model. Now, if I now click on this play icon means like present. It presents to present your prototype. So let me just switch it to preview. So it's going to be on the same tab. Uh, Let me use a phone frame. Let me use a phone frame. Okay, so the prototype is loading. So can we see what happened right now? Let me try to like restart it. Can we see what happened right now? Yeah, so that's how this works. So now that we can see that the time is so fast, maybe we can just go back to, let's say, 600. Let's just go back to using 800 milliseconds. Then to restart your prototype, to like check out what you've done again, you just need to click on the prototype frame and then click on and press R on your keyboard. R means restart. It tells Figma to restart your prototype. So maybe let's just go a little more on 1000 and then come back here and click on R. So you can see that we have a nice delay here, a nice splash screen that shows up this now. So we also have these two, moving on to the next frame, we have these two buttons here for create accounts and sign in. By default on the mobile app, we are supposed to like, when you click on create account, the user expects them to have something, to go to something. Also sign in, expect them to go to something. And also they want this, you can decide to like have these frames to be moving, but I think the time is going fast. Let's just take one of these screens. Then we don't have a sign-in screen on this we don't have a sign-in screen on this design here, so I'm just going to move with create account. So I'm just going to click my button. Since it's the button that I want to click that takes me to the other page, not the whole of the page itself, then I'm just going to click on my button, make sure that my my focus is on the button. Then as usual, I just pick this plus, drag it to the create account. After dragging it to the create account, it already taps into our format setting. So we really do not need to do much over here. The trigger is still on tap. The goal is when you tap on the create account button, it goes to create accounts page. The animations is there, the delay is there, everything is good. Then I can close out on this. So I can come to this create account on this prototyping flow and just click on create account. And you see, it takes me to this new page. Are you following? So now we can also go further and say that this arrow icon, it can't just be redundant. What happens when I click on this arrow icon? So I can go back and drag this arrow icon back to this page. So to the onboarding page. The goal is that I can click on create account, take me here. I can also click on here to take me back. So on this, and I click on this, it takes me back. Then I click on create account, takes me to the create accounts page. Are you following? So the one of the importance of this is that when you have a prototype, when you can draw all of this and have a prototype ready, and you are, let's say, demoing in your team or to your clients, they can easily point out that, oh, I don't want this create account to just go somewhere. I want maybe this to happen. I want them to have this or feel this and all of those things. Then when you are able to like show them this, it gives you that creative freedom to quickly like make changes to your design, make changes to your flows, make changes to everything. Instead of having a developer work on all this before you start to get actual feedback, you are you'll be able to get like real feedback from your design itself even before it gets to the development stage. So that's one of the importance of a prototype. Then I can go further to click on this get started button, then drag it here to, you see, still maintains the same settings. And here I can decide to be like, change either of these animations, maybe change the trigger. But since we are like, is an untapped flow that we are working on, we really do not need to change anything. We really do not need to change anything. Then we just continue our prototyping. Then goes to this page. Then you click on continue. Takes them to this page, to the profile page. You also come here. It's starting to get easy for you to like work on. Then you click the continue. The idea is for you to go to the next page to pick for users to select interest. Then this back to go here, continue button to go here, the back but arrow button to go here. And the beauty of this is that you can decide to like select. Let me undo one of these. Now, since we are like we are on something that looks like a creative flow, we can decide to like pick one of these, this arrow, and this arrow. Since these two pages are the same, like they are the same pages, but just like a little difference in between choosing. So a user can be like, there are times when you have flows like this too. So you can decide to like select the two and then you drag both together to one frame. So you've saved yourself time of going back here and going back, clicking to go back. And as it is right now, I can now see that, oh, maybe you can just take this back here. Maybe let's just go through all those frames just like that. So we have that here too. The create account too, we can click and also uh okay, we can drag these two buttons together. They are also doing the same thing. The user can decide to just proceed without an avatar. So then take them to the like success screen. Now here, what do we do for here? Something that is fast. We can decide to take this upload section. You can see that these are like in a uh, these are grouped. So a user can decide to like tap only this and expect a function. Tap only upload text and expect a function, or tap only this to expect a function. But to cater for both things, let's just decide to like prototype this whole group. So we can select this group and just say, okay, when you click on the upload, it will take them to this next page. So we have that here. I hope this is not getting confusing for us right now. Then this last button here for start connecting, okay, it should take users to this page. So same settings, same prototype settings, everything. So we can now come back to our prototype here. Let me put it on a bigger part, so we'll be able to see how well it is. Yeah, so I click on R. So now okay, let's start again. Now I click on create accounts. It shows this. I click on get started. It brings out the code. I click on continue, brings this out, continue. I can go back, decide to go back and press this arrow icon, and it goes back. Click on continue, click on continue, then upload, brings out this create account. I'm all set, and I start connecting, and it brings out this. So I can decide to like send this prototype link. I can decide to like click share prototype, um copy the link and send to whoever needs to give me feedback for this flow I just designed. Now I can paste this on the group, and somebody will say that, oh, when you click on create account, it's not supposed to bring this form. It's supposed to bring, okay, maybe a way where you can either select, maybe you want to do this or this. Then I'm going to come back to my design, make a design, switch my prototype, and then I've gotten that feedback. I can decide to like another person can come with their feedback. So this is like giving them the essence of a prototype is giving users, or sorry, giving your team, your clients, or anybody that wants to test your product a real insight to how it's going to work. It's giving them an insight to the simulation. You're not sending a messy Figma like this for them to start figuring out how it works. They are basically giving them, oh, how is it going to work if this mobile application is on their arm, on their palms, if the web app is, on their laptop and all of that. They are basically giving them that idea of how the product is going to work. So that's what a prototype is. Are we following? So, and also, do we have does anybody have any question? Okay, yes, please continue. Sorry, I'm listening.
Good evening. Sorry, please. Just now you talked about maybe you want to share your prototype for somebody to give you a feedback or something. Okay, let's say for instance, with this your design now, maybe you share this prototype with somebody, maybe a collaborator or somebody, and the person say, okay, if you click on continue, it's not supposed to take you to slow place. How do you cancel that prototype to redo it? Let's say to work on the flow the person suggested.
Okay. Sorry, please give me a moment. Okay, so now let's say for instance now, um somebody says that, oh, continue is not supposed to be there and all of that. How do you cancel? Now it's very simple. You just need to, let me take this page for example. Let me use this splash screen for example. I'm just going to click on I'm just going to click on the frame, then clicking on the frame. Now, before I go to that route, you can see that the Figma, you can see all these plenty lines here, right? Then what clicking on the frame does is to narrow it down to only the parts that you want to edit. For instance, now
Sorry,
the only
is it only me, but I can't see what you're doing.
Oh, sorry.
Okay,
I was I've not switched the tab.
thank you.
Yeah, so now you can see that this is how the lines, like you can see just those lines anywhere. You can have a more bulky prototype than this and you won't know what line does what, all of these things. So now, and you want to cancel the prototype, like the flow of one of the frames there. So you just click on this frame, on the particular frame. Like I'm taking out this splash screen stuff. Just click on the particular frame. What it does is that it narrows all the prototype lines down to the particular frame and only shows you what works and what doesn't work. For instance, now we have two prototype lines on this create account. Now it has shown me that this button goes to this button goes to this comes to this. So now what I'm just going to do is to click on this, click on the line. I'm just going to click on this line, then come over to the right, this place that shows that says interactions. Yeah, this place that says interactions, then over on it, see this minus line, then I'm just going to click on it. It removes the interaction, it removes that prototype. So that's what it does. And I can also decide to like click on that line and press delete on my keyboard and it goes away. So two ways here, click on it, the interaction property on the right, hover on it, click on the remove interaction, which is this minus, or you just click on the line and press delete on your keyboard. That's how it works. Did I get your question clear now?
Yes, yes, yes. Very well. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, so is there any other question? Yeah, please continue.
Hi, sorry, good evening. So my question is, I think is it if you want to link them together, is it that you're just going to click on the screen you've done, then you see like a button there, then you start aligning them together, like connecting them together?
Sorry, please come again. If you want to,
My question is, if you want to like do the prototype, how are you going to? Is it that when you just click on a screen to join them together, like you see a button and all?
okay, if you want to run through a prototype, yeah, just
Yes,
just imagine that after you finish designing, you can see this part here. I wish I can
design.
zoom in.
Yes,
Yeah, you can see design
yeah,
beside the prototype.
prototype. Yes.
Yeah, so you just click on the prototype. When you click on prototype, if Figma now knows that you are no longer designing. Yeah,
You want
you want
prototype.
so if you want to prototype maybe a page, maybe a button, you just click on it. If you want to prototype a page, you click on the frame. Then you start your prototyping by dragging out this, then changing whatever you want to change. If you are not prototyping the page, but you are prototyping a button, you can decide to like just click on, let me use this. You can decide to click on the button. Just make sure that whatever you are clicking is follows follows the how do I put this? Follows whatever you want your users to click. You cannot prototype only this text. For instance, now you cannot prototype only the sign-in text and expect that when your user clicks outside of the sign-in text, it's going to work. It's not going to work that way. And since this is a button, like we are prototyping the whole button, so whatever you want to do, maybe the text, the button, you just need to like click on it, then the plus icon comes, then you drag it to wherever you want it to go to. Have I answered?
Yes, you have. And sorry, I have another question. Okay, when you are done prototyping, is it only a link you can send to them, or just like in another way, just a link for them for you to get feedback?
Oh yes, for you to get feedback, you just need to share a link. Same way you share a link to your Figma file, you just share a link to your prototype file. You click on if you want to view what your prototype, how your prototype is, you click on what did I just do? You click on this let me share. Okay, you click on this plus button here. It's available on the design part. It's available on the design part, on the prototype part, either of the two. Then you click on this present button here. When you click on present, what it does, it takes you to a new page where it loads your prototype for you. It takes you to a new page, gives you that full page experience. You can also decide to come here under this play icon, click on the drop down and choose preview. What preview does is gives you the prototype view inside your Figma. So you can decide to be working and be viewing your prototype alongside. Do you understand?
It's not understand. And sorry, I think when John asked the question of you getting your user feedback, how do you get the feedback? Like, how do you see your feedback from users?
Okay, so we are still going to that.
To that part.
Yes,
Okay, okay, so that's my question. All right,
2 minutes we'll get to that.
no problem.
Now but I believe we are all clear with the prototyping part right now.
Yes, we are.
Okay, so now, okay, John wants to ask a question. Please.
Sorry, please. You talked about being clear with the prototyping part. Are we going to have another session about the scrolling, that is maybe vertical or horizontal scrolling of prototyping?
Yes, please. We are going to have that
Okay,
part.
okay, thank you.
It's is supposed to, like, for us to get familiar with what we want to do, how we want to do it, and then our subsequent sessions is going to be deep dive into it. Yeah. So now that we are familiar with making prototypes, the next thing we need to talk about now is what is a usability testing. Yeah, because the purpose of a prototype is for you to perform what testing actually is. Well, to perform, like, sorry, the purpose of a prototype is for you to, like, perform a test, for you to have real feedback of what people are expecting. So usability testing is done in this way. You send your prototype link to anybody you want feedback from, your developer, your client, and you don't need to explain how it works for them. You just have them do their thing. So this is called you just have them do their thing. So this is called a think aloud protocol. What it does is that you don't tell them anything, you don't give them a guide, you just give them your product for them to, like, use, and they tell you how their experience is. They narrate what they think about it, all of those things. They say all that to you. That's the importance of it, because as a designer, the goal is not to explain your product to a lot of to users. How many people do you want to start giving explanation to after you finish designing? So that's the point, for you to, like, after you finish design, for you to, like, share, get you feedback of how they do, and continue from there. So a lot of times users are going to catch all of the problems, all of the usability problems, like the range of people that you are testing with. They are going to catch that problems that, oh, this is what I find confusing, this is what I find amazing, this is what I feel should be here, this is how I feel this should be done. And then the goal is for you as a designer to find whatever is going to be confusing before your developer start to build anything at all. So after every, like, design, after every testing of your prototype, what's there is what, like, there are three things, like, you need to, like, ask yourself: that what is confusing for my users, what is unclear to them. That's number one. Number two is, what did I expect to happen? Like, I do I expect these users to click this? Do I expect them to do this? Do I expect them to do that? You need to ask yourself that. Oh, what do I expect them to happen? Instead of them telling me or explaining to me or me explaining to them, what do I like feel about it? Then the last question is, who would use your product and why would they use it? For instance, now you are designing something for children, then you roll it out to like a couple parents, some children that can like use this guided testing and all of that. Then you now ask yourself that the children that are going to use this thing, what was confusing for them when they were using this thing? What did I think was going to happen when I designed this thing? And also now, who are going to use this thing? Is this product suitable for children? Like, do I need to adjust anything in my design? So that's the purpose of a usability test. And how do you do it? It's very simple. You finish your design, you finish your prototype, you send it to whoever needs to test, like your tester, and then you like give them that task that, oh, please go through my prototype, try to like see how a creating account flow works. You don't need to tell them anything, you don't need to explain, you just allow them do their thing. So by default, they are going to get back to you, or you are going to like, maybe if it's a real-time stuff that you and the person that are testing are together, you don't need to like, you just need to watch and just take note on whatever they find confusing, whatever they find stuck and all of that. You can also give it to another person, and instead of just watching, like instead of just not saying anything, you can start to like talk to the person about how you feel you wanted this to work. You don't have to worry about maybe your prototype is right, your design is right, the flow is right. You just need to like just explain. So it goes both ways, just for you to like get honest like feedback on what your design is. Are we following now? So now that you just that you got all your feedback, now that you get all your feedback and all of that, you need to like now take some steps. First of all, in, let's say, in personal matters here, when you ask somebody for an advice, or you ask a couple people for an advice, or let's say you want to enroll into university, you want to study a course, you want to like take a trip, and you ask like 10 people, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? You are not taking the advices of those 10 people. You're not taking the feedback of those 10 people. You need to decipher those feedbacks into 4 parts. Now, we have an high impact fix. We have an high impact easy fix, high impact hard fix, a low impact easy fix, and a low impact hard fix. These things are important because one of them, the high impact easy fix, it just tells you that, oh, these are the things I need to fix fast, that the things I need to fix immediately, that the things I need to like, quickly act on. Oh, my users are spending more time in doing this, they're spending more time in doing this instead of like exploring the whole app. We have those are like important. Then the high impact hard fix are things that you just don't do like immediately. You have to like calm down to plan them carefully, plan those design carefully. Just imagine when you give an onboarding flow to somebody and they say that, oh, this flow, I'm not, so as a user, I don't want to like I don't want you to get these informations first. I want you to do this first. I want to do that first. Then you just won't jump into Figma and just like do those things immediately. You need to like plan them. You need to like do your own research on them. So that's what is called an high impact high fix. Now, moving on to a low impact easy fix is when these feedbacks and features, they are feedbacks that they are nice to have. They don't affect the they don't affect the product, they don't affect a lot of things. They are nice to have. They won't really have much conversion on the product. So you just like do them when you have time. You don't do them immediately. You are not prioritizing them. So it's now a matter of, okay, in simpler terms, it's going to be like high priority and low priority. So the low impact easy fix are things that you can do when you have time. Then the next one is low impact hard fix. where you ignore them for that moment, but they are not worth those efforts. For instance, now you are working on let's say a financial application now, and then after testing and somebody is saying that, oh, for instance, I need to be able to add, maybe we need to be able to add, allow users to upload their avatar on the app. Yes, it's actually cool for users to come in to see their picture and all of that. But for now, it's not really worth those efforts. We can replace that with, let's say, an avatar or a text or anything. So that's an example of a low impact, high low impact hard fix. So yeah, are we following? Do we have any questions regards that? Okay, yeah, please.
Please, can you repeat the high impact hard fix and low impact easy fix? I missed the explanation, please.
Okay. So okay, let me be typing them into the group as I'm saying it. So I'm also going to send the note after the call for us to like go through and all of that. So now we have a high impact easy fix. Um High impact easy fix. So an high impact easy fix is a fix that you need to like do them immediately. Immediately you get the feedback, you work on them. So they are like quick fixes that is going to improve the product experience. They are going to improve. So you need to fill this text. So they are going to improve the product experience. There are things you need to like fix quickly. We have that. Then the next one, did you get that? Okay. Then the next one, we have high impact hard fix. We have high impact hard fix. There are fixes that you need to plan carefully. You need to plan them carefully. They are worth the efforts. You can, they worth the efforts that you are trying to put them into the roadmap, sorry, into the design, but you need to plan them, you need to make your research. So we have that. And then the next one is we have a low impact easy fix, where you do them when you have the time to do them. You do them when they have the time. They are like nice features you can have on a project or on the product, but they are not worth your time at that moment. So you do them when you have the time. And then the next one is the low impact hard fix. You need to ignore those ones for that stage. They are not worth the effort, although they are nice to have too, but for the particular parts, for the particular stage your product is, You don't need them. So are you clear now? I've already dropped the four types on the group. Yeah. So someone else raised their hand earlier.
Yeah, it was me, but I think my question has been answered actually.
Okay. Um yeah. So that's that um on the feedback. So we are like we have only like 5 minutes left. So let's quickly run through how when you get all your fixes and you need to start fixing, you need to remember that you don't change your whole design. You don't change your whole design. You have to improve your design, change one thing at a time. You don't rush it so you know that you actually like fixed it. Then we also have version controls where you need to keep the former version of what didn't work and keep what worked. So for documenting purposes, yeah, please, Dami.
Okay, so when you mean for low impact artifacts, when you mean they're not worth the time, what's the time? Do you mean that okay, you can easily come back to them, or at this stage that where of your design like they are not just worth it?
Yes, you are correct. You can come back to them later on, but at the particular point that design is, they are not worth the whole effort.
Right. Okay. Okay. Just want to be sure. Thank you.
So I stopped at version controls here, where you keep a version of what works and what didn't work. It can also serve as documentation purposes, where maybe you write about your design later on, you'll be able to come and say, oh, I remember when I was doing this part didn't work, I did this and then it worked. Yeah. So yeah, that then you have to factor in speed too. Then you also need to like be fast in when you are implementing those changes so that you would be able to keep up with those things that you are working on. Then you also need to make sure that a user can complete a task without confusion. If you are designing something and then people are testing and then they are finding it confusing to like you know complete tasks, you have to know that, oh, I need to like work on this. So that's how you handle prototyping and then the feedback part of it. So we have like less than 3 minutes. I'm just going to say that for assessments are like dropped in the meeting, right? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
What's your
So
question?
before we really go to Irene's question, to Daniel's question. So for the assessment here, I believe that do you guys have you worked on maybe like a random design before? Like during the course of this of this project of these sessions, yeah. Have you touched hands on design?
Yes, I
For
am
me,
currently
I have
working on one.
some.
Sorry, what did you say?
I said I am currently working on one.
Okay. So before our next session, yeah, I would want us to like drop our what they call it, our what we are able to put together from this class, and also maybe work on a random prototype. It can be like 2 screens, it can be like 3 screens, something maybe prototyping a button or all of these things, just something random. So I'd like to have that, and also like how we were able to like pull it off. So I would love for us to like work on that. And also I'll be dropping a note or a slide, either of the two, whichever is like fast for me to do right now to the group so that we can also be able to keep up and we are not just completely lost in the meeting stuff. So sorry, to your question, guy raising his hand.
Okay, I wanted to confirm that are there factors to consider when putting those feedback into categories? Like, how do you know which one is high impact, easy fix, high impact, high fix,
Okay,
low impact, like that?
yeah, for you to consider what like factors to consider is just number one, you need to consider how fast that feedback is going to fix the problem. For instance, when somebody is telling you that, oh, when I was trying to sign in into when I was trying to create account, I noticed that the verification is taking me somewhere instead of it's taking me to another place and all of that. You know that that feedback, that problem from the feedback is affecting something. So you need to like fix that as soon as possible so that you won't you will retain your users. They won't leave the application based on you not the application not like giving them that response on time. So you know that, oh, this feedback, if I don't act on it, I'm going to lose users, I'm going to lose customers. So you take that as high priority. Then if you want to take something as low priority, you should take note of features that are not, they don't really solve any problem. They just are just there for like they are nice to have. They do little like ceremonial stuff and all of that. So something that doesn't solve a problem, that doesn't fix something, you don't tag it as high impact. If it solves something, if it's going to improve the experience, quickly tag it as an high impact stuff. If it's nice to have, maybe like a new feature, something completely different but still works, then it's going to be regarded as a low impact stuff. Did I answer your question? Yeah, so thank you. So I think that will be all for tonight. Just expect the notes in the group in few hours. I'll get that in the group. So yeah, I think I'm going to hand over to